A brilliant trick to save your silk or chiffon fabric. Snags are a common problem with delicate materials. To fix them, all you need is an ordinary coin. Gently rub it over the snag. The coin smooths the fibers and helps straighten them, evening out the fabric surface. It's a clever, cost-free tip that can save your favorite item. It only takes 2 minutes to shorten your pant legs, and the result is surprising. You can do it even if you've never sewn before. Start by trying out this trick. First, grab a measuring tape. Use chalk or a piece of soap to mark a line at the point where the pants are too long. This is where you'll shorten one leg first. Next, prepare a needle and thread. Follow my movements. Insert the needle at the bottom of the leg, just above the folded hem, and then push the needle through along the chalk line. Repeat the same stitch half a centimeter further along the same line. Once you've got the hang of it, continue stitching all around the pant leg. When you're done, simply pull on one end of the thread, and the pants will pull up on their own. See, it's not difficult, and the result looks fantastic. You can't tell the pants were shortened, and it's comfortable too. The leg is now shorter, just as you wanted. I'll show you today how to attach a slider to a zipper tape. If you have the zipper, but the slider and tape separately, it's tricky to deal with. When you put the slider on one part of the tape, it's hard to attach the other part. You can try different ways, but today I'll show you 2 methods. They work best. For the first method, you'll need a fork, just a regular kitchen fork. The prongs of the fork need to hold the slider, but be careful. Don't insert the fork prongs where the slider's prongs will be. I mention this because it might not be clear in the video what I'm doing. The fork prongs must go under the slider handle. That's the movable part you grip when you want to unzip or zip the zipper. The fork must go under this handle. One fork prong from one side and the other from the other side. Only then will you be able to put on the zipper tape. It doesn't matter how you hold the fork with the slider, whether the slider's handle is facing towards you or away. Now just insert the tapes. Do it evenly, simultaneously. Then the tape will be correctly attached. And you can zip up. Just remove the fork, watch again, place the slider on the fork and insert the tapes. Thanks to the fork, there's no problem attaching the slider. Once you've lightly inserted the second tape, the zipper practically closes itself. Let me show you another way. Without using a fork. This works if you don't need such a long zipper. Take scissors and cut the tape right after the prongs. About 1 centimeter is enough. Cut off that piece. Now, put the slider on the longer tape. Slide it up. Align the tapes so their lengths are equal. The slider must be at the same height on both tapes. Insert the other part of the tape. Now you'll attach the slider easily, and the zipper is securely closed. Watch again. Align the tapes. Slide the slider onto the tape. Slide it up. Zip up after attaching the second tape. And it's done. Chewing gum can be removed from clothes without leaving a trace, and it's possible in 2 simple ways. Freeze the gum on the fabric by holding an ice cube over it. I don't have ice, so I'm using a frozen strawberry. After a few moments, the gum will harden and be much easier to remove. Use a plastic card to scrape it off. Watch how I do it. It's like magic. But there's another method just as effective. If you want to remove gum quickly, here's a reliable way. Grab an iron and a piece of white paper or paper towel. Place the paper over the gum and iron it for a few seconds. The gum will soften and stick to the paper. Be careful not to leave the iron on too long to avoid melting the gum into the fabric. If the gum has been there for a while, use a plastic card to scrape it off. The heated gum will stick to the plastic, making it easy to peel off. Take a notebook and tear out a sheet. Thread the needle in 1 second. Do you also have problems threading the needle? Can't you hit it with the thread? Sometimes your hands shake too much, or maybe your sight is already too weak. Other times the thread doesn't want to cooperate. You try to thread it, but nothing comes of it. Every attempt ends in failure, and you're losing patience. You even try to cut the tip of the thread to make it easier to thread. Without success, then use the school method. Tear out one sheet from the notebook, fold it in half. Cut it into 2 parts. Cut off half of one sheet. Such a small sheet that unfolds is enough. Thanks to it, you will be able to thread the needle. Take the thread and unfold the sheet. Place the thread at the fold of the sheet. The thread must protrude from both sides. Take scissors and cut the sheet diagonally so that a sharp tip of the sheet is formed from the side where the thread starts. Now insert the sharp tip of the sheet into the needle hole. When the tip of the sheet passes through the hole, tear it off. In your hand, you will have the needle threaded. See how simple it is. You can do this even with a smaller needle, then only the sheet of paper needs to be more trimmed, then you will also thread the needle. A nurse showed me how to remove a ring from a swollen finger. When fingers swell, getting a ring off can seem nearly impossible. I'd like to share 2 methods to avoid this problem. First, prepare a thin string or thread. Cut a piece of it. Slip one end of the thread under the ring. Hold or tape this end to your hand temporarily. Start wrapping the other end of the thread around the swollen finger. Tape this end as well. Now, take the first end of the thread and start unwinding it. The ring will begin to slide off. If the thread catches on the ring, adjust it and continue unwinding. The ring will slide off the finger, and you'll be able to remove it. You can also do this with a piece of string. Follow the same steps as with the thread. At first, it may seem difficult, but it becomes easier as you go along. You can remove the ring by yourself this way. Another simple method works as long as the swelling isn't too severe. You probably have petroleum jelly or a greasy cream at home. Just smear it all over the finger with the ring. This will help the ring slide off without any trouble. This is how you can quickly remove a grease stain from your pants. Sprinkle the stain with cornstarch, talcum powder, or baking soda. These substances will absorb the oil. I have baking soda. Wait a few minutes for the soda to absorb the grease. Place a piece of blotting paper or a paper towel over the soda, then take an iron. Iron the fabric through the blotting paper on a low temperature. The blotting paper will absorb some of the grease that hasn't penetrated deep into the fabric. Shake off the excess soda and wash the pants, and the stain will be gone.